I always tell people, do not throw or donate anything until I have a chance to look at it.
Hi, this is Lynn Widmeyer, continuing in my series and focusing on wonderful people in Jefferson County, West Virginia, who can help us as we get older. And today my guest is Lowe, who is the owner and founder of Leave It to Laura, who helps people get rid of all the stuff we've been accumulating for many, many years. So I'm just going to start off with Laura and just ask her, Laura, how did you end up in our wonderful little community?
Well, I was born and raised in Hedgesville, West Virginia, and then moved to Shepherdstown when I was 18, and met my husband and had children and made this my home.
Well, so you're a native West Virginia.
I am a native West Virginia.
And of course, I know Hedgesville because that's where 4-H camp is.
That's right. That's right. And I was in 4-H.
Well, there you go. How? Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into Leave It to Laura and what was your path to that business?
So when my kids were little, I started selling on eBay just for extra money for something to do. And my friends and family found out that I was doing that, so they would bring me items to sell.
Now, what year is this, just roughly?
This is 1999, okay. 2000, okay. Around that time. And so I started doing that, and it just kind of grew over years. And then I became a single mother. About 5 years ago, I needed to really be able to support myself and my children. So a friend of mine, Maura Bowserman, who is a realtor, said, you should start a company where you do estate cleanouts. And I said, no one's going to want that.
Surprise.
Yeah, and it just took off. Her daughter, Chloe, came up with my name, Leave It to Laura. Maura designed the logo with the leaf and everything. And they pretty much just set me up and said, here, go do this.
So now, what do you do? Talk us through it. Suppose somebody is leaving. I had a neighbor who left town and called you.
Right.
And so talk to us about what do you do exactly?
So it depends on what their needs are. I can pretty much do whatever they need me to do. If they just want to downsize from a few of their items, say they have some furniture they want to get rid of, I'll go in, take pictures, measurements, list everything, set up the meet times, be there if they need me to be there to help load furniture, carry it out, make sure everything goes...
Full service.
Full service. Make sure everything goes okay. So I'll do that if that's all they need. If they need an estate clean out, sometimes people have passed away. Sometimes there's an elderly couple who's going into assisted living, or they just want to get rid of most of their stuff because they're moving into a little apartment. I'll go in and do a full estate clean out. So I'll go in first and pull the valuable items that have, a lot more value than you would do at an estate sale. And I'll take that and put it on eBay or Poshmark or, a couple different platforms that I use to sell it. And then I'll go in with what's left over and we'll make piles, trash, donate, keep to sell, and what they're keeping.
How interesting. And, I just finished interviewing Denzel Nybert, who refers to him as the last of the on-site auctioneers. And he mentioned you as really, you are the wave of the future when it comes to getting rid of stuff. So who are mainly your clients? Right now, who are your major clients?
People moving. A lot of people moving. When COVID hit, it just took off. I thought for sure that my business would slow down when COVID hit, and I've never been busier. I can barely keep up with the demand of the people that are moving out. People decided, I'm going to move where I want to live. When COVID hit, they just wanted to go where they wanted to be. There was so much uncertainty.
Well, do you have to be licensed, or is there any, like auctioneers have to be licensed? Is there any licensing?
So as of right now, there's no licensing. I have an LLC just to set up.
Which is a limited corporation.
That is correct. Because it's kind of a glorified yard sale. So there is not any kind of licensing. I'm trying to get other people to do what I do because I can't handle the load.
Wow.
There's all of Berkeley County. I'm pretty much centered right in Jefferson County because it's close to home, and it makes it easier for me to just go meet if I have to sell something. And I don't need to travel farther.
Well, they say online, like you do, you sell stuff online. You make a decision as to whether to sell it online at
That
a
is
yard sale,
Yes.
or you will actually find specialty sites if
Yes.
people have something really
Yes.
special.
Right.
What is the most unique thing you've ever
Oh my goodness.
sold?
Oh, I should have thought about this.
What sticks out in your mind as sort of...
Vehicles. They're not really unique, but they're
wow.
always good when I get to sell a vehicle. That's always a really nice chunk of money that comes in. The most unique.
Or any things that stand out for you when you...
I love when I find sets of silver.
Silver is...
Sets of silver.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm thinking all this stuff that I have that's sort of old school, like silver.
I love vintage. Vintage and
Vintage.
antiques are my favorite. They never really go out of date. Vintage is always hot. It's absolutely
what
my
is hot?
favorite.
Talk a little bit about what is hot in the market right now for those of
Vintage.
us who are clearing out attics and
Vintage,
basements.
yes. Vintage. Antiques are starting to come back in.
Are they?
They slowed down for a long time, but again, when COVID hit and everything slowed down, you couldn't find things. Antiques came back
I'll
in.
be darned.
What else is in? Furniture is slowing down right now.
Yeah, I remember reading that big brown furniture is not a big mover.
No. Except for people that want to remodel it and turn it
into something other than big brown furniture.
And unless it's Hinkle and Harris.
So what advice would you give to people who are thinking of downsizing or whatever? What do you do first?
Do not throw anything away.
Ah, good tip.
Yes, until...
I can live with that.
Yes, and unless it's ripped, torn, stained,
Wow.
Actual trash, papers, but even old postcards. I mean, anything that you have, even from if it's 1900s, 1800s paperwork, advertising, there's value in all of that stuff.
Wow.
So I always tell people, do not throw or donate anything until I have a chance to look at it.
So that's what you do first. You sort of come to the house and you just sort of walk through and say good, bad, not so hot,
Yes.
and you go through and sort of
Yes.
define it that way. And then you set up private sales, yard sales,
Whatever the
anything that
client
it
wants.
takes.
It depends on what the client wants. Some of them don't want to have sales at their home. But most do. Most, when they hear that, and as soon as they start getting a little bit of money coming in, they see some stuff selling, they get excited. They get, and they're like, well, here, let's sell this, and I want to sell this now, and yeah, it's a little bit addictive.
So what do you like best about this gig?
Meeting the people. A lot of the people I work with become lifelong friends. I ended up moving some clients that I met, and they were an older couple, did a whole clean out of their house, and ended up moving them to their new
Oh
house,
my
setting
gosh.
their new house up, and we have stayed friends. I mean, it's just, you work with these people intimately. You know everything they own that's in their home, and there's a rapport that happens, and it's amazing. I love it.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty busy.
I am pretty busy.
So is this like does this take your time every day of the week? I mean, is it pretty?
Every morning I just counted, I have 1,100 items on eBay right now.
Oh my goodness.
And so every morning I pack eBay items to ship out. That's the first thing that I have to do every morning, is ship out what has sold. And then if I have more to list, I'll list. I currently purchased a house with a partner, and we are cleaning it out and remodeling it, and it was full of antiques and vintage. So then I go over there and work, and we're still pulling stuff out of there that we can sell.
Well, how do you determine the price range for people?
Research. So the best way to know what the value is of something is eBay sold comps. So if you want to know, you don't go on and look what it's selling for, you look what it's sold for.
Gosh, it really has moved to the internet, hasn't it?
It has.
Are
Yes.
your fees based on sales? Do you get a portion of the sales?
I get a portion of the sales. I take no money up front. I don't ask anyone to pay me for what I'm doing. If I come to someone's house, there's no charge. I just get 40% of the item once it sells.
Well, I think it sounds like what a great. I want to go home. I'm going to start cleaning out my house.
Yes, you should. And it feels good. It feels amazing
It does.
when you go in and you start cleaning out clutter. And I tell a lot of my clients that just have a lot of stuff they want to get rid of, go ahead and get rid of all that, and the money you make, you can start fresh. You know, a lot of times some of my clients are starting fresh and they just want a whole new living room set. They everything new, or even everything vintage, but they just want it different.
Different vintage.
Yes, yes. So I'm like, well, go ahead and clean all this out, clean out the clutter, and then you have money that's coming in and you can start fresh. You can go, you know, downsize, but keep everything minimal.
That sounds like great advice. I always like to make sure that people who are so wonderful like you are staying in the county.
I'm staying here.
Okay.
I love it here. I'm staying
Yay.
here. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this little talk. I found it really interesting, and it's just the internet is the place to be, and you need somebody who's skilled in it like you. Clearly,
it is. The internet is it's a whole new world out there with the internet.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to come back and talk to you in another time and see how the market's changed or what's new. But so thank you so much.
Thank you.